Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, here we go. Welcome to the Monday KVJ After the Show podcast. Got a lot of stuff here. We need a little extra time just to deal with all the stuff that was coming in today. We'll get to it, get to your emails, all that kind of stuff. So thank you very much for sending us so much great information and comments. Mail at kvjshow.com. Seeing here, Boca Steve had sent me. Apparently there's a lot of news networks that are all upset about Boca Bash. No distancing, no masks, lots of stupidity. So figured
but it's Boca.
Yeah.
You can't control the youth of Boca.
You can't control Boca, bitches. Good luck.
Yeah.
Are you looking at the next COVID surge in Palm Beach County? It's Boca Bash 2021, and it's happening today on Lake Boca. Ugh.
They must have missed last weekend at Peanut Island and the weekend before that at the Jupiter Sandbar. Like, this is every weekend, schmucks.
Everywhere I've gone, people are fucking raging. What are you talking about?
They're raging. They don't care.
A lot of that is going on. So there you go. So
and they were so mad on the networks. Like, I can't believe it.
Yeah. It's just it's music at this point, so people get all upset. People are gonna do what people are gonna do,
and you can't stop them.
No,
you can either be upset and bent and all a tizzy, or you can just say F it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't control people. I'm just going to worry about me and my fam.
Spoken like somebody who's vaccinated. You vaccinated fuck.
Yeah, I got that double vax card, bitches.
Yeah, okay.
What up?
Look at you.
Yeah, 2 doses.
Oh, and believe me, she's walking around with big V energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's even just kind of weird again about it? I saw the headline again today. States including Texas and Florida, which have completely reopened, are reporting fewer coronavirus cases in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and New York, which have restrictions and mask mandates in place.
See, you don't know. None of us know. So you just got to do you.
Yeah. I tell Palm Beach is jamming on Friday.
Much like us, the news needs content too, so they got to keep filling stuff up.
Somebody had sent a text in, though, talking about Boca Bash, the originations, and how long it's been around. Some people were saying it's a lot more than 10 years, more like 20. It was from one of the homeowners on the lake, and I know it's not a lake, it's really the intercoastal, but they call it Lake Boca. I know for a fact it was over 10 years ago because not only did I have my own mini Boca Bash the week before on my 25th birthday, and now I'm 35, but I know the guy personally. It just got crazy 10 years ago. Before my 25th birthday, I was always looking forward to Boca Bash. So I'm pretty sure it's at year 20 at this time. So it's been around for a while. I know it's the big thing. If you're plugged into the Boca social circles and you're in your young 20s at least, that's where everybody goes.
I can't wait for Friday. I'm really hoping we got a drunk girl trivia.
I hope she did. I don't know that she did. I mean, who knows?
I mean, it was raging out there.
Yeah, I keep trying to. I'm like, hey, did you get that? She's like, Dad, I got too drunk. I was like, ugh.
Oh, Daddy needs a drunk girl trivia.
I know.
Damn, Daddy.
Where is Daddy's drunk girl trivia?
Does Daddy need to go out there himself?
No.
I would be so bummed out if I had to go out there. That would kill me, I think. It would.
Shaybard, you're coming to Lake Boca.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, would end up having 20 drunk girl trivias, though.
Yeah, we would.
We would have a lot of them.
Yeah. Let me see here. Got an email here from the Bearded Mexican, and he said, hey, Kevin, I mean this with all the love I have for the show, but please tell the Mexican Queen to stop shopping for you like you're in your 20s. It's making Jaybird look like he has more fashion sense, and we all know that's a lie.
Damn. How did that side dig?
Oh, yeah, Jaybird, go fuck yourself. Yeah, honestly, to let you know, it is kind of a discussion that I have with my wife, and this is it. Like her and my daughter, she takes pride that she knows so much about fashion. And, first of all, there's no arguing with her anyway, but especially on something like this. And so that's kind of the whole thing. My wife's always looking at TikTok, looking at the fashion. we have had this conversation, I can't tell you how many times. And I'll see somebody, I like more of a tailored, classy, kind of refined look. I'll see that. And we were watching this one show, the one show I was telling you about, El Dragon. It was this guy, and he just looked, it was like grays and blacks and tailored, and it just looked, I like the James Bond kind of look, that kind of thing. She's like, that was so out of style. I'm like, but you are dressing me sometimes like I'm in my fucking 20s. I'm like, I don't want to look like a guy who's trying too hard to look young. And she's like, you just don't know what's in style. And so we have this fight, and so trust me, it is a fight a lot. And it's so intense that sometimes I'll be like, okay, so what should I wear tomorrow? And I'll bring out two things, and she'll be like, you think that goes together? And she'll take photos and send it to my daughter, and everybody's ripping on dad because he has no fashion sense. So it is an ongoing thing about how clueless I am when it comes to fashion. And that's the butt of all the jokes. His dad knows nothing about fashion, but I keep telling him, I'm like, guys, I want to look like I'm 47 years old, but a classy, hey, people look good for their age, but I want to look my age.
Age appropriate is important to remember.
Right. So
we can't all dress like Justin Bieber.
Exactly. I'm like, yeah, but he's 24. I'm like, I don't want to look like that. So trust me, I'm in this fight too. So I get what you're saying. I'm right there with you, man. I'm fighting it. And look, when we're going into the clothing stores and all this stuff, and I'll pull out stuff that I think is in that zone, you don't know anything about fashion. Oh my gosh, that's so, no, here, I got you. So trust me, it is an ongoing fight. I will let her know. I'll keep letting everybody else know, but you can't argue fashion with my wife because she knows everything. I know nothing, and even including what I want to wear. She's
I think you look good.
Well,
what the fuck do I know?
I prefer, just so you know, I'm more comfortable in the ones that are a little bit more. But then she'd be like, you're dressing like a dad. I'm like, well, I am a fucking dad. What do you want me to do?
I'm a dad, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
That's the thing. You're very comfortable in your skin.
I am, yeah.
Until they put you in Justin Bieber's outfit.
Right.
And
I
then you're
always tell
like,
her that. She'll show me that. I'm like, that dude is 27. I'm like, I'm 47. Like, I want to dress like a guy who is 47 that looks like he's got it together. And you're like, well, that's a stylish dude. I see a lot of those. The George Clooney's, all those kind of types.
You don't think that looks good? What you got on right now?
It's okay, but it is. I mean, it's all right. It's over. It's on the edge of where I want to be. It's teetering. And there are some where I'm like, I don't know.
It's a little peacocking.
It is.
If you want to see
and
it,
I get it's okay.
I put it up on our Insta story. It's Kevin in his cocaine shirt.
Yeah.
I say you rock it, dog. But yeah, I'm coming. I'm a peacocker.
Oh, he's the biggest peacock I know.
Don't let the bearded Mexican get in your head. He's a lippy fuck sometimes.
I get it, and I let it ride. At this point, I don't really even care. You guys, but just so you know what I am most comfortable in. I may have an outfit on that I'm like, all right, it's what the queen put me in, and trust me, I'm taking up the fight, but I'm losing because I and my family have zero credibility when it comes to fashion. You just don't know what you're talking about. You have no fashion
Does she
sense.
put this much work into your outfits on the weekend or?
No, we do. I mean, it's actually, because during the pandemic, we all got bored. So we're all trying to find something new to entertain ourselves. And so that was the one thing was you're looking at a lot of social media and she's seeing all that kind of stuff. And I needed new clothes anyway because I had, dropped some weight and nothing was fitting me right. And I was like, I look like I'm wearing,
Grandpa's pants.
Right.
Well, because, you're sickly.
Yes, exactly. I have whatever disease it is that I have. And so I needed some new clothes. So that kind of started it. She was spending a lot of time on TikTok, seeing the fashions. I needed new clothes and more slender stuff. So now that I'm more slender, I can fit into some of this stuff that's the Bieberish type of clothing.
Fall Out Boys band outfit.
Exactly. Yeah, when I was meaty dude, they didn't make them in meaty dude sizes.
There's a little bit of traction going on that we're getting in our chat room and some other forums. Is that a ladies' jean jacket? Some people are saying that it is.
I don't think this one is. The other one that I had worn was. This one was in the dude section at Forever 21. The one that I had worn that had all the cuts in it, that was, I think, a ladies.
Forever 21. That's such a funny name.
It is for a guy that's 47.
Forever 21 is such a hilarious
How do you know
name.
you're in the wrong store?
But sometimes, you know what? It's giving them a hobby, and it's just easier to go along.
Exactly. They're having fun doing it.
Well,
So I humor them.
The good thing, too, is our audience likes it because it does.
Yeah.
They like to say some shit.
People are like,
funny.
people are like, well, I rushed to KVJ TV because I want to be able to rip on Kevin's outfit for the day. So if that
never
gives you
know.
life, if that gives you life, Jamie said, yeah, she dresses you like an 80s Colombian drug lord in Miami. That was what I had on last week. And actually, I think I got to take credit for that one. I think I put that one together because that was a little, it looked like, what was that Brad Pitt movie that he did with Leo DiCaprio that was the Quentin Tarantino film that they had done? Kind of had that look to it.
Oh, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was kind of inspired by something like that. There are comments about Jaybird's fashion as well. Michelle had said, I went to Hog Heaven down in Isla Mirada and I spotted Jaybird in the future. There you go. That's
Shit.
Yeah.
Fuck, it does. That is going to be
If
me.
you're watching KVJ TV, it's a guy's got like what do you call that? What is that top called, Virginia? I don't even know what that is.
That is a tunic.
Tunic.
A tunic.
'Cause
Okay.
I have tunics.
Okay, yeah.
It's a tunic, but it's got a hood.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
So there you go.
The guy looks afraid.
Yeah. So yeah, people love our fashion sense or not, but it's all good for content, right?
As long as you're having fun.
them talking.
And look, your family's having fun dressing you, and you don't care.
I
You'll
don't,
just
yeah.
you'll be their Barbie.
It's all good.
I love it.
Yeah, it amuses them and everybody else. So let's do it. Got this for you, Jay Bird. If you don't know, Anna said, how about these Thin Mint cupcakes? It is Girl Scout cookie Thin Mints, and they made them into cupcakes. I don't know if they do other cookie flavors, but they have that one.
Ooh.
I'm not a Thin Mint fan, but I can see the Thin Mint community loving them.
Mm-hmm.
We like some of the other Girl Scout cookies. Kevin likes Thin Mint.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I grew up, I think, on the mint thing, and that's why. So sometimes it was the only option I had, and when you're young and you're fat,
And you just love it.
then you take it. It was what, that or broccoli. So that's what I went with. Britt had sent this in about your juicing. Said, I'm a longtime listener. I always hear Virginia talk about going on a juicing diet. I really want to get into juicing to help lose some weight and feel better. I was wondering if she juices her own juices or gets them from a company, and any other recommendations she has when it comes to juicing.
If you're going to do it, you got to make it easy for yourself and convenient. I have a juicer. When I have time on the weekends, sure, it'd be great to spend 2 hours shopping and then juicing. I just like the squeeze.com convenience.
Squeezed up, right?
Squeezed with
Yeah,
a D.
yeah.
Squeezed.com. It's just easy, man. And I find that if stuff is easy, I will stick with it. If it becomes complicated and tricky, and then I'm juggling kids and juicing and blah, 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 I won't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, convenience is a big part of it. And so there's a lot of companies that are out there. I think what it is, and I was kind of having this conversation this weekend after I bought a $40 shot of tequila from Buchan on Friday. Was just having the conversation with my wife. There are some things that you don't mind paying for. Like my food service is $7 a meal. Like I'm like, okay, that's a good trade-off. Getting store-cut melon is not. Like I look at that little container, it's like $8, and the melon's like $1 or like 40 cents. I'm like, the markup on that is crazy and insane. I'm getting like old and cheap now, and now it's like going out and buying cocktails like that. That's one of the biggest things that kind of drives me crazy. I'd rather do a shot in my car before I go in and then get a water because it's like the markup is so crazy on stuff. Sodas is another thing sometimes I get you. My wife is like, I go get a Diet Coke. She's like, like what you paid for that, I could buy 2 12-packs.
There is a terrible thing going on with the soda out there, especially if you go to a side convenience store. They mark up their soda big time.
Yeah.
They'll sell, I've seen 12-packs go as high for $10.
Yeah. So I was just kind of doing a little bit of a deeper dive, and there's some blogs out there that talk about the biggest markups. And oddly enough, it's not always necessarily alcohol that is the biggest markup on some stuff. And there's other things, food items, things like that you can get that it's just insane how much they mark them up.
I go to one store in Lake Park, and every time I go in there, first of all, I feel like they're angry all the time. I feel like I always walk in at the tail end of a fight. It's just, there's an odd energy in there, and everything is so damn expensive. And I usually go there out of convenience because it's right there. But man, what an energy in there. You feel like you've done something wrong when you walk. I'm like, I just want to fucking soda.
Is that the one on Park Ave?
I don't want to dox them completely. It's somewhere in Lake Park.
So anyway, got some comments about that. Also, Marie had a question about, I know Virginia's done some cosmetic work, and I was wondering if we could get a breakdown of what she's had done. If I remember right, she did something to stop sweating. What was that, and how does that affect her cooling down when it's hot out?
So, yeah, the thing that I did in my armpits is called Miradry. And basically, they do all these little tiny injections, and they stop the sweat glands just in that little area. And it also takes care of all the hair. So Miradry, I think, is awesome. Still to this day, I can tell that it's still working. And I got that done like 3 years ago.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if I'm going to give myself armpit cancer from not having those sweat glands there, but I am a person that hates deodorant.
I love deodorant.
So I'm much happier now.
My mom used to get deodorant that didn't have any scent to it, and it made no sense to me. I'm like, Mom, why? It's better for your armpits. I'm like, all right. I don't think she.
I don't like the sensation of putting anything in my pit.
So you would hate your armpits licked?
Yes, I would hate that.
You would not like that at
No,
all.
why? Are you into that?
No.
You little freaky monkey.
I'm just asking.
Sounds like he's
Yeah.
offering over here.
No. I'm not offering. She's a married woman, but it's an erogenous zone for some people.
How many pits have you licked?
Oh, get out of here. You think you want to stats on these things?
The over-under is 7.
I don't know, Virginia.
He doesn't know. Let me see a couple other comments here. Got Tanya B. that had said that I'd like for you to bring back the Queen Crazy. I loved when you guys played the trumpet and announced the arrival of Queen Crazy. It cracks me up.
Is that Virginia?
Yeah, remember we used to have that Queen Crazy? We did it a long time ago.
I love it. Bring it back.
Well, now you're the witch, and man,
I've morphed.
we need to play the one game. Is it the crow outside of our building laughing or Virginia? I've been recording this crow that's out. It's this fucking crow, man. It's got a look to it. It's always squawking out there. I think we could play a game where some people may not be able to tell the difference between the witch's laugh or that crow's laugh.
Like
Virginia or animal?
Virginia or animal.
Yeah.
Damn, Denny's. I took your gig, bitch.
That'd be
This
pretty
crow.
awesome.
But it's only birds.
This crow is so loud. You know the one I'm talking about. It's got a bit of a crow too.
The greasy one?
Yeah, I'm not calling you greasy, but it is the greasy crow.
Greasy
This crow looks like he's on crack.
Yeah.
Oh, this thing is squawking like the Dickens.
Tanya B. had sent an email. Other than that, she had said, when deciding on a car for your daughter, Magnolia, Virginia, first look at the safety rating. Not only will the car be safer for a young Mags, first-time driver, but the insurance will also be cheaper.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I know that car insurance. That's crazy. We finally got one of our kids off the insurance, but man, oh my gosh, crazy expensive.
We added Mags, and our insurance went up $3. I don't know what kind of magical witchcraft
That
we
is crazy.
did. Yeah, we ended up switching companies and doing some kind of sorcery or something.
Oh my goodness.
$3.
That's insane. I'd never heard of you have a 16-year-old that's going to start driving for the first time. You put on your insurance and they're like, $3 should cover it.
I'm like, really? Is this a mistake? But I mean, I probably shouldn't even say it out loud because I feel like we're like
I think everybody's going to want to know
getting away with something. But
oh, my kids are, you're talking like $400 or something like
we
that.
switched companies like completely. And I guess we went from having all these random different companies for this insurance, that insurance. We put everything, I think, with Progressive.
Really?
And
that's very progressive.
$3.
Dang.
I
All right.
know.
I got to look into that. Need some help over here.
I think you just have to have an advocate And a lot of times,
An advocate?
Like,
What do you mean?
The insurance people, I don't think they want you to shop around. So you have to like know how to shop around. I'll go fuck myself.
Oh, Kevin, I was having this horrible nightmare that Virginia would not shut the fuck up about insurance.
What a dick. Trying to help Kevin.
I'm just kidding. I know it was a fascinating discussion.
You childless fuckface.
You didn't get the struggle.
Childless fuckface. I'm just kidding. I'm doing jokes.
I'm just kind of kidding.
Yeah, somebody pointed out that's cheaper than Kevin's shot of tequila.
I know.
You're right. That's, oh my goodness. That's a whole year's worth of insurance.
Think of all the tequila you can enjoy.
Jeez, I know, right? Also, question about Drunk Girl Trivia. Glad that Caitlin brought the bit back. It was such a tease, though. Can we Venmo her a drink as a business expense to have her keep it going? Yeah, I keep trying. Just the only thing is going to be very unreliable. So welcome to that when you got a 23-year-old.
You know, if we did a beer fest or something like that, where we're able to just get it done, one and done, we could
Fish in a barrel.
We could get 10 of them and bring that back for. That would be. It's the going out and then not having them and then looking and approaching strangers and all that. That's the nightmare stuff. But if we had an event where we were able just to have people walk up and do it really quick, like at a beer fest, I think that we could definitely get a bunch of new ones.
Crawfish Festival, June 5th.
Yeah, if we told listeners, hey, come on, the nation, come on down. We're doing Drunk Girl Trivia. We could bring it back.
Totally.
That way, bank some.
Yeah. And Tanya also wanted to throw a shout out to Denny's for the Squatty Potty. Great recommendation.
Oh, he loves that thing.
Yeah.
He really does. He brings it up a lot.
Yeah, she said it's now like a slip and slide, so thank you. That's lovely.
Poo come flying out of me. Woo!
Yeah.
It's from what I understand, it's a game changer for a lot of people.
Yeah, if you struggle trying to release the beast, I think
Right.
because the way it like makes your body align, it's like the perfect position for poo to just fly out of
yeah.
you.
Yeah, I kind of learned something on that. You're right. It's kind of like, it's basically kind of go into the crash position that you would on a plane. You tuck the knees into the chest, and it does. It evens it out. There is, believe it or not, a proper way to poo, and I believe that's it.
I think you have to lean back a little bit too. Like if you're leaning forward trying to poo, you're not doing it right.
Really?
You got to lean
Okay.
back into that poo like you're driving.
Really?
Because I know we're trying to build up our TikTok, numbers. Why don't you do a little instructional, the right way to poop? I'm telling you, Virginia, it would do okay. It would do all right.
It would
Okay.
get 3 likes.
I'd watch it, but
I know.
I'm a sick fuck. So.
We were talking about products that you really wanted, you got it, and then you never used it. There was some talk earlier about the Instapot. We'd found out that it's more of a pressure cooker than it is like a crock pot, so thank you for that. But frozen chicken breasts, all your seasonings into it, throw it in there 20 minutes or so later. They're tender. You can just shred them with forks and
Wow.
build your taco.
Yeah, big thing I was asking about was the pasta angle. And I believe it was Toph in our chat room who said it does work for the pasta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Air fryer for chicken wings, all good advice. Thank you very much for that. So
My whole thing is how quick does it make the pasta? If I want to get some angel hair up in that piece, is it still going to take me 10 minutes?
Normally, angel hair takes like 6 minutes anyway. So if this thing is a pressure cooker and going to do it faster, you could have angel hair in 2 minutes.
Well, maybe I'll try to talk Denny's into a spaghetti Monday. We'll do angel hair. We'll do fettuccine. We'll do marinara. I'm thinking out loud again, Kevin.
Big plans over here.
Damn, Ralston got me.
Ralston wants to talk about insurance.
I do. Let's go back to the exciting stuff.
You childless fuckface.
You called me child. All right, now it's getting hurtful.
Let me see. We got an email here from Nikki. She said, the infamous Logan, Ohio. I turned on the Oxygen channel at 5 a.m. this morning and caught an episode of Killer Couples about a couple that kidnapped their daughter-in-law outside a bank in Logan, Ohio and killed her.
What?
I saw that. It's really good.
Yeah, and then they took her body and threw it in a septic tank at a church.
What the?
I think it was, you know what? It happened in 2011. I looked at it. I didn't even know about it. And I read the story. That was after I was long gone from Logan. Like I told you, it's a small, weird shit happens in that town. It's really amazing.
It is. It's like Twin Peaks.
Yeah, I recognize the name of the Inmans because there's about like 10 different families in Logan that make up the entire population.
Yeah.
So I recognize the name, and she was going to be divorcing this dude. They were in like... and religious stuff's kind of weird in that area too. Like some of it's not far away from the West Virginia border, and you get into some of these mountain churches in West Virginia, and they're the kind of people that like hold cobras and believe that God won't let a cobra bite them. They're like snake charmers, like weird.
Remember the
religious sects.
The old guy from Poltergeist, that kind of religion.
Right. Yeah. So there's some weird stuff that verges in those hills. That happens. And so, yeah, it sounded like this couple met at church. Dad was actively involved. And then he was, like he would say, you're my wife. You got to give me sex and all this kind of stuff. It was just pretty much an asshole. And
Keep your cobra away from me.
If she went to go run an errand, they would be like, where are you going? In Logan, like it's not like you're going to get caught in traffic. In Logan, you know exactly. It'll take you 3 minutes to get to the bank. Like no drive is over 7 minutes long in Logan. It's such a small town. And they would time her. And so she would have to come back. And so she just is like, I got to get out of this. This is crazy. And so she, I think, was kind of even shacking up with another guy. She had 2 kids with this dude. She was cleaning banks. And one night after she got off work, this dude and his parents kidnapped his wife. And they were like threatening her, like, you're not going to leave me. You're not going to take the kids and all that. And apparently it got out of control and they strangled her and then freaked out, took her body and threw it into a septic tank in a church, at the church's septic tank.
Oh my gosh.
And then, and they had the kids, and the kids are growing up, and, now they're with I guess the maternal grandmother.
Her parents.
Yeah, because
his parents
the dad
are in jail.
And the son, they're in jail for life.
Damn.
And then the mom, I think, might even be in prison too. And then the other grandmother's the one that has the kids, and the kids are like, so what happened to our mom, and where is she, and blah, blah, blah. And so another bizarre story out of Logan that made national news.
Logan and Lake Park, 2 weird towns, my friend.
It's like I said, growing up, there was always weird stuff like that was happening in that town. It's just an odd thing that happens. And unfortunately, the only stories that ever come out of there are those kind of stories. And it's got a small town creepy air to it.
What was your hometown? Was your hometown creepy? Because growing up in Lake Park was creepy. A lot of prowlers, a lot of odd. There was some murders there. Did you have anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, it was just the 80s, so I think it was whack. Looking back on the 80s, like you're like, what the hell? I think everybody had that.
Yeah.
I had a lot of like missing children, abduction, weird stuff in my childhood because my mom's best friend, we would all hang out together as family. Like they had 3 kids, we had 2 kids, and we would like all hang out together. The little girl that was closest in age to my sister was murdered on her own street.
Wow.
Yeah, so I grew up with that. And
what year did that happen? Do you know?
83.
So that hit right around the same time all the Adam Walsh stuff was hitting. Yeah, man. The kids on the milk cartons.
We would play with them all the time. That was our friends. That was our, like, my mom's closest friend. We'd always be at their house, hanging out, playing with everybody. And then, the little 3-year-old girl got murdered by her neighbor across the street.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I finally, as an adult, went to go rectify everything because things weren't told to me. When you're young,
Sure,
they don't tell you all the details, but it's public record. So I went and looked at all the court proceedings, and I found out exactly what happened. And
what happened?
Well, it was the creepy guy across the street in his late teens, I think, like 19 or 18. He invited her to come over to play.
Yeah.
And then he had a gun.
Oh,
He
man.
wanted to see what would happen if he killed somebody. He took her out in the woods, and first he started strangling her. And then he was afraid she was going to tell on him, so he shot her in the head and then stuffed her body under his bed.
Well, there it is. Virginia.
That's what I grew up with.
It took you a whole 30 minutes, but yeah, you depressed the fuck out of us.
Wow.
That's
Well, I
such
thought-
like a prominent
Yeah.
thing from my childhood.
I thought the
Yeah.
story was going to end, and then it kept getting worse and more horrific, although I was on every detail, dog.
Would you
I
rather
know
hear
you
about
were.
insurance?
I was just kidding about the insurance. I didn't mean to make waves.
Look, you're going to be troubled by whatever comes out of my mouth. Pick your poison.
That's a crazy story, dog.
I know, dog. I'm still friends to this day with, my mom's friend that lost the child, but it wrecked them. They got
Sure,
divorced.
yeah.
Like, it was just a whole mess and
Yeah.
just awful. I can't imagine losing your 3-year-old beautiful little girl.
That's crazy. I mean, I obviously I love murder stories, but I mean, I don't love the fact that there was murder.
I don't love being that close to it. Like,
Of course not.
I get weirded out, man.
And thinking back too, what a horrifying concept, especially for kids. You're eating cereal, and then you look up at the milk, and there's missing children all over. There's snatching kids.
Do they still do that?
No, because they
Okay.
realized it was fucking with kids'
Yeah.
head.
It's a terrible idea.
Terrible.
You're traumatizing a lot of people. Yeah, I get it. Got an email from Astrid. She said, Kevin, I've been going back and listening to the podcast every time there's a discussion about raising kids. Kevin brings up the fact that he had really strict parents. I had strict parents too, and strict teachers on top of that, but I also believe I am who I am today because of those strict parents and teachers in my life. Had they not been strict, I would have been in a completely different lifestyle at this point in my life. So the question for Kevin, is being strict really bad, you think? Not saying that you can't be fun at times, but I also believe it is necessary, especially in today's day and age where kids have access to phones and tablets and stuff like that. Just curious to know Kevin's point of view. That's all. I think a lot of it depends upon the kid that you have. And as a parent, you've got to be flexible. And part of my parents being strict was do as I say. And when you ask questions, it's like, that's just because of the way it is. And so, that was tough. When you're strict and you don't give explanations as to why you're doing it, I think that it's nice to have both. And for me, I didn't necessarily have that part of it. And yeah, I'm glad that my parents, did have some discipline in me, and that's good. I wouldn't want it to be completely lawless, but I think that you got to be flexible. And sometimes as parents, my dad had a little bit more of that, and he would come and tell my mom, be like, look, you need to back off at this point, because sometimes when you keep pushing, you got a strong-willed person on the other side, which is what I was. You just are two forces colliding, and that's really what it was. And we were kind of nonstop fighting because I wanted my freedom. I wanted to be able to go out and do some stuff, and there wasn't really explanations, and I wasn't trusted to be able to go out and do stuff. So I did bad stuff. And then as my parents started to trust me more, and I felt like I'd be like, yeah, I don't want to disappoint my parents. That became the best way to discipline me. Was I was accountable for my own actions. And it wasn't my mom's law. It was my own law. It was like, you're doing this because you don't want to screw up your life, not because you're trying to live the way your mom wants you to live. It's like you're trying to live a way that you want to have a good life.
And I see what they're saying too about being strict and having some discipline and some structure. Yeah. But sometimes you can be so strict where it doesn't make sense either. And that's where there's confusion and resentment.
Well, for instance, and I grew up, the reason why I was strict was there's a lot of religion that was behind it. And when I grew up, there was a lot of stuff that didn't make sense to me, and you weren't allowed to question it a lot of times where I grew up. And now I'll pick apart anything in my faith, and you can bring it to me and I'll have a discussion with you. In fact, I'm always looking to say, okay, this doesn't make sense. What does this mean? And I wasn't allowed to do that. So it was a lot of, you don't question this. This is the rule. This is the law. And just, we all have the ability to ration and, come up with logic. And logically, some of these things that I was being told didn't make any sense.
You hear that, Virginia? Sounds like someone wants to start up the Godcast again. And brother, I'd love to ride that train with you.
Okay.
I'd love to do a Godcast.
You'd love to do a Godcast with me?
I love talking religion. I think it's really not fascinating. I think it's really great. I'm trying to not say that word.
Okay. Well, the thing that I'll tell you about it is it has dominated human history for the last 2,000 years. There's 3 main world religions, and so it is a discussion that's impacted people who are not even religious. So, yeah, I think you can have interesting discussions with it.
Well, it's cool to hear what everyone believes. Even if you
Sure.
don't believe in anything, I find that good, too, because I like to hear that perspective.
Absolutely. I've gotten some of the best perspectives from people who are atheists to hear what they have to say, and I've learned a lot from them. So I love those discussions. So that's it. You know, when it comes to being strict, I think that with everything, there's balance. You got to have some boundaries for your kids, and then those boundaries become looser as they get older. And it's got to be like, hey, that's what we've done with our kids because I was aware of that. I guess we were strict and we had boundaries, but as they got older, we just kind of said, hey, you've been raised, you know what's right and what's wrong. And we tell them, like, if you do this, then you're going to wind up in hot water that you're going to have to get yourself out of.
Having Cannon be your 3rd kid, do you notice, especially with him being so much younger than your older kids, that you guys paired him slightly different than the other kids?
Yeah, I would say we probably even got, if anything, looser over time because things seem to work out fairly well with Colin and Caitlin. I feel like they were good kids compared to what I was. I was a terror, and I came from a very strict upbringing. And so they were pretty good. And we're probably even looser with Cannon. And, I hear him playing the Xbox and his friends use filthy language. I've never heard the kid swear once. And so I'm like, okay, let's just keep it going. He seems to be a sensible, good kid. So he's got all the freedoms in the world. And, to me, too, my mom would get upset about stuff that was asinine. That really
Did you have an example of that?
A lot of it was music. And I remember that, she was very strict on the music that I want to listen to because you know how much I love music.
Sure.
And, of course, I was in the era of the Ozzy Osbournes and the Shout at the Devil from Motley Crue. And my mom
Kiss.
thought that if I listened to Kiss or Motley Crue that the devil would get in me and that I would become possessed.
Team Devil.
Yeah. And so,
you guys were so strict. You weren't even allowed to watch Solid Gold, you said.
Right, yeah. MTV was out of bounds and things like that. And then my dad came in and said, hey, look, I was growing up like a veal. Like I was in a box with no light.
So,
and my dad's like, he's like, this kid's about to burst.
And this is probably a weird scenario to paint, but I'm just seeing where the line's at. Let's say your mom found out you were looking at a Jugs magazine and, tossing it. Are you the devil child?
I don't even think she'd know how to handle it. We never talked about sex. Sex was just a thing that never came up. I remember when I was 23 or 24 living alone in California, my dad sent me a letter and said, hey, I never sat down and talked about the birds and the bees with you. I don't know if you understand what sex is yet, but if you ever want to discuss it, just give me a call and I'll be happy to explain how it works.
And did you just write him back, go, Dad, did you ever hear of the Summer of Kev?
I'm like, dude, I'm 24, man. I mean,
I've been
maybe
working
this should have
since-
come like, I don't know, 14 years ago? I don't know.
When I was 16, I was dropping that log.
I've been
Right.
porking since middle school.
So, yeah, I don't even think my mom would know what to have done.
But do you think she would have been mad to find out you tossing off? Probably, right?
Yeah, I think that, we would have had a very uncomfortable conversation with the Bible open in front of us. And,
Oh, man.
yeah.
There's
it
nothing
would
more
have been
Heavy.
awkward and weird. So,
Right after a good toss-off, you now have to,
Yeah.
man, that'd be rough.
So to Astra's question, I believe in a lot of that stuff. I think that there is definitely some good discipline, but you don't have to go crazy with it. So that's my thought. All right, well, we're going to go talk about insurance. So thank you guys for all the emails.
I was just kidding.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah, we'll get to more of them all week long, so keep them coming. Mail at kvjshow.com. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.